And now let's hear a few words from Mike Harwood.
I've been in this business 37 years now. When I started, we were running carbon arc lamps, burning 2 rods of carbon to create the light. So we've come leaps and bounds of a giant. We came into HMIs in the mid-'80s, so now we're into LEDs, as we're all so familiar with them, they're everywhere. But the problem in this industry is everybody wants it bigger and brighter and cheaper. So we've got some larger ones. So everybody knows about LEDs the last 10, 15 years in the industry. It's all plug and play little stuff. Now we're getting into, can it be bigger? Can it be bigger? Can I light a farm set with it? So now we're starting to get some bigger fixtures. And as you can see, the 2 black ones out there, they're our newest one. And we actually did a test for a feature film, and they compared them to the 4Ks and of the old 4K HMIs, which pull about 42 amps. And these things, they took them, these are pulling 4 amps. So that's 1/10 of the power. Outside, we have a battery inverter system, or what we call BESS, a battery energy storage system. And right now it's powering a Krypton trailer out there, so anybody gets a chance, go and have a look and see what it does. And we have 2 smaller ones in-house, so they're 6 kilowatt hours. And that's the thing. People always say, well, how long will these things last? You've got to do some math, figure out what your load is, your ampacity, and then the unit out at is 30 kilowatts, but 150 kilowatt hours. So if you're running 3 trailers, it'll last for 6 hours. If you're trying to run 6 trailers, it'll run for half the length. It's much like your charger on your phone, right? Your phone is a DC charger. So how long it takes will depend on how big the charger is, how flat the battery is, and these systems work the exact same way. We've got everything from the little green bulb, if you can see it on top. That's a new product. I can control that with my phone. Again, there's a built-in battery, some of the larger fixtures, and they're getting to the point on these 2 units, and the reason I brought them is they're not 15 amp plug into the wall that's in your house. They are larger ampacities to run on the motion picture electrical systems that we have. But it's the same thing. We need a higher ampacity to make the lights bigger and brighter so they will light larger sets. If we can run them with larger sets, they can use a smaller quantity, but it's going to come down to the ampacity. Again, how big a battery? Do I need a 6 kilowatt hour unit here? Do I need a 150 kilowatt hour that's parked out front on the street? The one on the street is, again, it's a BESS, it's a battery storage system. But the way they're designed is we can use them as battery-only power. I can use it, let's say in the morning we're shooting inside tight interiors with small LEDs. The afternoon we're going to fire the 18Ks outside. We can program it, or you can do it manually to turn the generator on when you need that extra power. So instead of having your generator running 8 hours a day until you need it, you can turn it on when you need it. You can do it automatically. Sunbelt, another division that we deal with, is on construction sites. So they can program it so when the workers go home at 6 o'clock, the generator kicks on. And then when the workers come back at 6 o'clock in the morning, the generator turns itself off and all the batteries are fully charged. So you guys can incorporate that into your production daytime. Again, and we can use as a charging source. We have locations in British Columbia, and hopefully we're not going to get into it very soon, where they will not allow diesel generators at all. So what we'll do, we'll park a diesel generator or find a power source, and at the end of the day, the night, at the end of the wrap, we will move the battery system to be charged at an external source. So again, it's very flexible, and it's going to take a bit more calculation and thinking on your guys' behalf, the production side of it. But again, we're getting away from diesel. Like I've worked for Weymouth White, again, 36 years in Sunbelt. We're always the people who block traffic and have those big white trucks that spew diesel fumes out of them. So we're trying to reduce that with the help of Sunbelt, and not just Sunbelt Film and TV, Sunbelt North America. So they have products that they will use in a construction zone in Arkansas, and we can look at that and bring it up. And that's where we came in with the 150 kilowatt hour BESS systems. It was a product they'd bought for another division of their customer base, but it's something we grabbed and latched onto, modified and changed it, and used it in the film industry in Canada. Much like the car charger you see at the end of the thing. That was, again, a product that that we saw at one of the Sunbelt shows. We had 15 sent up to Canada. We modified them to run off the Canadian electrical system and had them reapproved for the Canadian electrical code. Frankenstein took 13 of them when they were rigging. And I think every time we go to show them, I've got to put a piece of white tape on one that says NFG. You can't rent it out because I need it. So one of our biggest problems is, and it's a good problem, is keeping them. I taught a 2-day generator course last weekend, and that big green unit outside, I couldn't get one. So again, we had to do some financial and artistic figuring. So we had it delivered here because we thought this was a benefit to show not only you guys as producers and writers and crew that it's there, it works, and in certain situations, it will supply the power that you need for your catering tent. Your we did one a while ago last year it was the finish line of a marathon. So again, people always say, well, how many trucks can I run off it? It's like, well, how long's a piece of string? If there's a truck with 15 hair dryers in it, or there's a truck with 3 hair dryers in it, it's going to be a different calculation. But if you've got any questions, we have Excel spreadsheets that give a formula for calculating everything, or standard equipment you'll see in the industry, how many hours it will run off this piece, how many hours it will run off a different one. So please reach out if you've got any questions, and floor is open.